All right, let's talk about Jalen Hurts, who I've seen some people kind of criticize his performance in this one, which I really strongly disagree with, actually. I thought he played pretty well in this one. Not perfect. We'll get into the game-sealing interception at the end, but for the most part, I thought this was a well-defended game by Atlanta. Hurts didn't have a lot of options and was making the most out of his options. So, yeah, let's just get into what I thought he did well and then ultimately what I thought he did poorly at the very end. Let's start off with this play. It's a key play, right? A 4th down and 4, and this was kind of a story early on, was things like this happening, which is a concept that can work, this sort of pick play on 4th down. Although the Falcons are in zone, usually these do work better against man. Because once this play begins, you see the Atlanta player, I think, who's in the area, doing a really good job at covering this. Hurts kind of quickly reads, to his credit, quickly reads this play and realizes it's just not going well. So, again, have a concept you like, it's just not working, and now nothing's open. Hurts has to try and make something happen. On this one, he scrambles out, but Atlanta, again, they're in zone, so they're aware of this. They kind of swarm him. Hurts, again, does the right thing, tries to hit somebody, but just can't quite make it work here. And because of that, the Falcons are able to get a big 4th down stop. And, had they converted here, most likely they're getting 7 points on the board. Instead, not quite able to make that happen. So, big defensive stop by Atlanta to cover everything up. But, not great play for the Eagles. This one's another one where it's a 3rd down and 4 situation. And this is, again, in modern NFL, a lot of what happens is, I think people always view it as first the offensive line has to make their blocks and then you have time to make the throw. A lot of times this goes the other way, though. On this play, it's man coverage on this one. Atlanta trying to man up and just they trust their corners to be able to beat an A.J. Brown-less Eagles, receiving core right now. You see Hurts is going to take the snap, and he eventually looks towards his left, but just nothing's really open right there. Again, you could maybe make a throw, like even like Devonta Smith towards the bottom of the screen. You could make it, but you're kind of forcing something, right? Like there isn't a wide open play. The guys who do have separation, there's an Atlanta player right near them who could knock the ball away. Hurts doesn't love what he sees. So now pressure comes because Hurts held onto the ball for a bit. Hurts gets out of that pressure and again tries to fit through a tight window, although that wasn't past the 1st down marker anyway, and it results in an incomplete pass. So this is what's happening. If you can't get guys open, you're not going to look good at the NFL level. You're just not. You need to have someone to throw the ball to. And so that leads us to this drive, which they still haven't scored yet. It's we're 8 minutes into or 8 minutes left in the 2nd quarter at this point, and it's a 4th down and 3. They're in no man's land. They're going for it. And stop me if you've heard this before. Hurts takes the snap, and he doesn't love what he sees. It looks like on the screen right now that player is open. He actually really isn't. There's an Atlanta player just off screen who's coming down to defend that. So because of this, for Hurts, again, what do? I mean, guys aren't really getting open. Like, you're going to have to make something happen. Well, that's what he's going to do. Watch him scramble up, and he is going to get out of this somehow and is able to kind of navigate the pocket well to pick up the 1st down. And what I love is I feel like a lot of quarterbacks in this situation would say, okay, I got the 1st down. Let me just kind of dive forward, make sure I get the 1st down. Cool, everything's good. That's just not what Hurts is going to do. And whether you like the strategy or dislike the strategy, it certainly can help you. As you see, he runs forward, and he's going to pick up a ton of yards and still slides, so never actually takes the hit. There was a risk of a hit in doing this, but never took a hit and was able to pick up a ton of yards on this play. So again, really good stuff here from Jalen Hurts, and this was a key drive. Later on, this play would happen. Again, a 3rd down and 11, so okay, another situation where they would really like to get the 1st down right here, try to, at least, you want to get a touchdown. Sure, 3 points would be nice, tied the game, but you want to be winning, not tied. Hurts is going to take the snap right here. Again, nothing's really open. Kind of quickly, he's bailing out. Almost looks like this is the plan from the beginning, was he was considering rushing the football. The issue, Atlanta, they're all over this. They have guys looking at Hurts on this one, ready to, try and make a tackle. But look at Hurts' physicality. He cuts back in and he picks up that 1st down. And, I do feel bad for defenders on these plays because you are in such a difficult situation. Hurts is such an athletic player. It takes so much to tackle him. But if you screw something up, if he does step out of bounds and then you hit him late, you're getting flagged. Like, you have to be perfect here, but they weren't on this one. And again, for Hurts, take advantage. Like, if the rules are going to benefit you, well, make them benefit you. A really good piece of running there by Jalen Hurts to pick up the 1st down on this one. Then let's go over here where this is going to be a 2nd down and 6 for the Philadelphia Eagles. And the way this play is going to work is there is going to be a blitz off the edge for the Falcons. But watch how Hurts on this one. The second there is pressure, I mean, he just starts rushing outside and it's going to throw down the field. You see he has a bit of a window. It's interesting because he could have just thrown it. Like, that would have worked. But at this point, he's just trusting his legs. And to be honest, it's not a horrible strategy to do so, given how well, I mean, his rushing has worked so far in this game. Although, again, he trusts his legs, but now he's throwing down the field. He's going to try and fit this one through a tight window. And this is the thing about Jalen Hurts, is he's very much capable of being a playmaker, not just with his legs, but with his arm. I mean, look at this really well-thrown ball, wall off balance. They're able to get a completion there and a big one. So, again, it's the play this time kind of was working as designed, but instead of just taking the 4-yard completion and moving down the field, finding something more than that. And as an offensive coordinator, I have to imagine it's very fun to have a guy capable of making things like this happen. I mean, again, maybe you would have liked to see your play just ran as designed, but when it gets kind of blown up with a blitz, I mean, again, it's got to be frustrating if you're the Falcons. When you think you have this play, working, you get a quick pressure, but it doesn't matter. And also something like this where it's going to be a 1st and 16. This is just coming off of a holding penalty. And for Jalen Hurts, I mean, his rushing is such a key factor, and they don't love to use him as a runner. I think last year we saw him not used that way a lot, and I think perhaps one thing they looked at watching the Tampa Bay game when they lost in the playoffs was maybe they should have used him as a runner a bit more in a big spot like that. So they're going to use a quarterback draw right here. You see that, they have a couple Eagles players on one. Falcons guy, I believe Jason Kelsey in the booth said that, hey, it's better to have 2 guys on someone than no guys on someone. So fair enough. But watch Hurts, kind of the move he's going to make here. He's not just going to fall forward for the 4 or 5 yards. Instead, he makes a move towards the top of the screen, jukes out a defender for Atlanta, and picks up a good amount of yards. Makes this now a 2nd down and manageable, which completely opens up the playbook, allows them to get the go-ahead touchdown on this drive. So now let's go to the game-sealing interception. As it was looking good for the Eagles, they scored the touchdown midway through the 4th quarter to take the lead. You're feeling great, and then all of a sudden, they get the ball back. Saquon Barkley drops the pass. The Falcons go down the field in like 40 seconds to take the lead. But Philadelphia still has a little bit of time left right here. And for Hurts's read on this one, I totally get why he's going to look for Devonta Smith. I mean, for one thing, Smith is his best receiver once A.J. Brown is out, right? So you have that. But also just concept-wise, I mean, it's a one-on-one matchup deep down the field. Again, you don't need to get in field goal range on this play. You have 27 seconds. You have a timeout. But if you have a shot, certainly take it. So let's see what happens. To be honest, when Hurts takes a snap and looks in Smith's direction, Hurts is getting hit as he's thrown. I still don't love this route by Smith. To me, I feel like this needs to be closer towards the sideline. Either way, they're not really on the same page right here, it seems like, because there is a window over there that Smith just isn't. He's not over there, though. However, who is over there? Jesse Bates. I mean, he is in position, and this is part of why you saw the Steelers not throw over the middle of the field basically all game in week 1 is because they were afraid of Jesse Bates, and rightfully so. Bates makes an unreal play to get all the way over there for the interception, but that still would have been an incompletion even without that. Again, if it feels like if Smith was a bit, Smith and Hurts were on the same page a little bit more there, perhaps they're able to get that big completion and, get in field goal range, and this miracle comeback by Atlanta never happens, but still, it does happen. However, I still have to say, when I go back and watch this game, I think Hurts played very well in this one. I really do. I don't look at this and say Hurts was the reason they lost, certainly. Again, I think people are going to look at, just the final score and say, well, the offense as a whole didn't get it done enough. And that's true. The offense needs to play better as a whole. And Jalen Hurts' box score stats aren't particularly impressive, but again, a big part of that, why his passing stats aren't that impressive, is because, in my opinion, the Falcons have a really good secondary, and the Eagles just weren't able to get much going, down the field. So Hurts had to kind of do what he could. Again, this is just how I see it. I didn't think Hurts played poorly. I actually thought he played pretty well despite the loss. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.